This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, we welcome you to a very special edition of the Farm Monitor. Special because the majority of the show is dedicated to the annual Georgia FFA State Convention, which was recently held just down the road from us here in Macon, Georgia.
The 91st convention to be exact, and much of that focus that Ray mentioned will be spent talking about the people who have inspired our future farmers of America. Case in point, Billy Hughes. This, of course, his first convention in the role of state FFA advisor. Hear for yourself why Billy says he left the administration side of education and returned to the FFA. Also, it's not just the last line of the FFA motto, it's a lifestyle for these students. How some of the chapters here in Georgia are living to serve the community.
The FFA, however, not the only topic of discussion this week. We're also going to take you to Cherokee County and introduce you to the incredible owners of Rockin S Farm, Tim and Michelle Stewart, in their own words, how the recession of 2008 changed their lives for the better. All this and more starting right now on the Farm Monitor. All right, let's be honest. The FFA convention wouldn't be possible without FFA students, which in turn wouldn't be possible without FFA advisors and teachers. Role models? Absolutely. They work to develop the future leaders of agriculture with endless amounts of time and energy in the classroom and beyond. Something that can really make a difference in the life of a child, as John Holcomb explains.
If you go to the Georgia FFA State Convention, there's one thing you'll notice. Lots and lots of blue jackets. But there's one other thing you'll notice usually hanging right around them, and that's their FFA advisors. Talking with them and maybe even coaching them for an event, making an impact in their lives and maybe not even know it, like Mr. Wilcox's ag teacher did.
I went to Telfair County High School where my ag teacher's name was Doug Williams, and it all started one day. I was in the library, and I was in 8th grade at this point, and he came in and he said, hey, my parents, we raise cattle. He said, hey, your dad has bought cows for him. And I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to take my class when you come to high school. So in 2009, when I went to high school, I signed up for his class.
And from there, the rest is history. He ended up loving the class and ended up really developing a good relationship with his teacher.
He took me up under his wing. He showed me how to be a leader. I went to a lot of leadership contests. I did a lot of leadership camps. I was the president from 2011 to 2013 when I graduated. He pretty much just showed me what FFA was about.
He ended up loving the FFA so much and was so impacted by his own ag teacher, he decided to become one himself. He now teaches ag mechanics at Toombs County High School, and he told me he's excited to have them at convention this year.
My hopes and dreams and bringing them back to these things, it just kind of sheds more light on why I teach ag, and I've tried to explain to them each and every day in our classroom lessons and talks and my life lessons, as they call it. I try to explain to them, how FFA can be a big impact on them, and I demonstrate that by showing them what it done for me.
What's amazing is that Wilcox is just one of many students that have been impacted by their ag teacher. I spoke to one other FFA advisor that also told me that it was his ag teacher that sparked his interest in ag and FFA so much, he decided to become an ag teacher as well.
My ag teacher was somebody that influenced me a lot, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have this opportunity. And so I decided I want to become an ag teacher. As one, starting FFA so late, I still had that urge to be a part of it, and so I didn't want it to stop. And so I knew that becoming an ag teacher, I would still be involved with the organization.
He also said that mentoring kids like he was mentored also was a driving force behind his decision to pursue a career as an ag teacher.
What drove me to be an ag teacher was knowing that I will be able to take that kid that is not comfortable participating and get them to participate, because I was that kid, and I feel like I could make that connection between them.
As it can be shown through the lives of Felipe and Tomel, the FFA is a great organization that can really make impacts in the lives of kids that will last a lifetime.
FFA to me means it gives you a place of belonging, because FFA has so many facets in it, whether you want to be in leadership, whether you like teamwork. I mean, FFA, it just encompasses a whole wide range of many different things that will help and make an impact on each student's life.
Reporting in Macon for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
John, thank you very much. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, some future FFA teachers and or advisors in this group. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you your 2019-2020 Georgia FFA State Officer Team. From left to right, Noel Plunkett of Jackson County, Spen Oliver, Harris County, Kylie Whitworth, Madison County, Maddie Ann Davis, Brantley County, Kirk Beecham from Colquitt County, Lizzie Parks of Bleckley County, Secretary Ivy Cook from Tift County, and your Georgia State FFA President for 2019-2020, Eric Robinson of Effingham County.
Every year, the FFA kicks off their state convention by giving back to the Macon community through their Living to Serve program. With 11 different locations and more than 800 students involved, it's the kind of outreach that is certainly making a big difference to those in need, as Damon Jones explains.
Service. It's one of the pillars of the FFA organization and the reason for this annual outreach program throughout Macon that sees nearly 1,000 volunteers give their time and effort to those in need. It's a mission that encapsulates what the FFA is all about.
The FFA motto's last line says living to serve. That's the statement that it makes, and so we try to instill as agriculture teachers in all of our students the need to give back.
One of the 11 locations was at the new rescue mission property set to open later this year. Between the sawing, scrubbing, and pruning, these students put in a full day's work.
These young men and women are amazing. We're just walking around looking, and they are getting after it. I mean, limbs, sawing, mopping, cleaning, raking. I mean, they just get after it. And I think what we appreciate more than anything is their passion. They're not doing this because somebody told them to. They're doing it because they want to, and that says a lot about their heart. And I'm just blown away at their passion.
Service comes with sacrifice. If you're not spending something, even if it's sweat, there's an investment on the part of service work. And so we try to teach students that it's important to invest back into the ones that support you.
Despite all the sweat equity put into these projects, it really is gratifying for the students and teachers as well. In fact, the number of volunteers for the Living to Serve program has continually grown over the years.
I think this is probably one of the highlights of convention, to be able to come and to invest and do some work that actually provides a benefit to this community of Macon that supports us so well and has for several years now.
I mean, it's not my first time coming out and doing stuff, but I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a great learning experience. I feel like this definitely teaches not only me, but everybody else that came out that it doesn't take much to give back to the community. Just doing small things can really be a help.
That type of enthusiasm and selflessness shown by these students also energizes those who run organizations like the Rescue Mission, who strive to make their community a better place.
If you've got kids this age serving and giving their time, it speaks to our heart. It makes us better, and it makes us want to continue to extend what it is they're giving. So this stuff is contagious, and I'm blown away. I really am.
And thanks to the Georgia Farm Bureau's support, the FFA will be very visible throughout the day as each participant receives this new T-shirt.
Those shirts actually give some credibility to what they're doing. You see a group of 20 to 50 students and they're painting a house, or you see them cleaning up an area, working on a campus, or working in a variety of different locations. It provides instant recognition.
It's well-deserved recognition for an organization that is very highly thought of throughout the country.
To me, there's not a more important entity in our school systems or in our community than the FFA. They are the example, and we put them above everything else, to be honest with you, because of their heart, and you can see their passion.
Reporting from Macon, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Damon, thank you so much. Well, they say it was a leap of faith and a blessing in disguise. When we come back, Rockin S Farm owners Tim and Nichelle Stewart on how their lives are much fuller and richer, thanks in large part to the recession of 2008.
This is an important day as we announce the release of the 2017 Census of Agriculture. We have to have data like this to rely on to help us improve American agriculture. There are 2.04 million farms and ranches, which is down 3.2% from 2012. Average size of these farms, 441 acres, up just a little bit, and they cover over 900 million acres, which is down 1.6%, which means that we're losing some arable land in this country, which ought to be a concern for all of us for the future. There are fewer middle-sized farms, but larger farms of 2,000 acres more increase. 96% of our farms are family-owned. 105,000 farms produced 75% of all sales in 2017. 11% of all producers have served in the military. There are over 321,000 young producers aged 35 or less, and 1 in 4 producers is a beginning farmer with 10 or fewer years of experience. 36% of all producers are female producers. The number of farms with renewable energy systems on their operation more than doubled from 2012 to 2017. More farms are using no-till practices, reduced tillage on more than 29 million acres of cropland. Acres and covered crops increased almost 50%. So the initial snapshot review shows that American farmers are adapting and innovating. It also shows that they're involved in sound conservation practices. So thank you, folks. The Census of Agriculture continues to tell the amazing story of U.S. agriculture, how it's changing.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
Nestled away in the hills of Canton, Georgia, sits Rockin S Farm. On any given day, you'll find owners Tim Stewart and wife Nichelle hard at work doing something that, as recently as 11 years ago, they never saw themselves doing. And that's running an agritourism operation. You see, Tim used to be in the auto body repair business, Nichelle a paralegal. But in 2008, the recession changed everything.
I was making a lot less money than what I should have been making and still seemed like doing the same job. So I'd picked up this and that, and I started a little lawn service, and we started doing this, and we started growing stuff and started selling it. And it just, the good Lord just opened all the doors, basically. I mean, we've had just great success. And it's a lot of work, and there's months that you're in the red. I mean, that's just, you know, we're gonna eat at home, we ain't going out to eat. We cut back on a lot of things that we didn't have. We don't take those 2-week vacations like we did. But it's been a growing process, and we have, it's really just developed into a big thing.
We just sat down and decided what we could do without, and had a long talk with the kids about what they were gonna do without. And I know that was an adjustment for them too, and we talked about that before we did it because it was a whole adjustment for our whole family. And they were okay with it.
In fact, they were more than okay with it. Nowadays, the Stewart family as a whole has fully engrossed themselves in agriculture. Son Jeb, he's on track to becoming an FFA officer. Nichelle, when she's not busy driving a school bus or working around the farm, you'll find her on the weekends managing the Woodstock Farmers Market. And as for Tim, well, he admits he is basically a kid at heart. And so when the opportunity presents itself to host a day camp for kids, he is right at home.
The old song, Old Dogs, Children, and Watermelon Wine. Now, don't care about the old dogs or the watermelon wine, but the children I love. I mean, they're young, they have not formed no hatreds, they have not formed no biased opinions of people. You're nice to them, they're nice to you. If you're ever mean to a child, it will never forget it. And that is the truth. I mean, I heard an old man say that one time, and that is the truth. And don't get me wrong, they should mind and be well-mannered, but you can still love them and get along and have a good time. And hey, it's not everybody that makes a little money playing with kids, you know. That's basically it. I mean, I paint the toenails on the chickens. I play in the dirt with them, you know. I give them four-wheeler rides. But yeah, I am a big kid at heart. Now, you know, the boys and the wife would say, no, all he studies about is work. And I am kind of a workaholic to a certain extent, but it is fun. And I worry, you know, I worry about, you know, somebody getting hurt or something like that, but we have been very blessed.
Had we not been in this business as a farming family, we would never have had the love and the support from the community and the people here that we would have never known these people. And it's a whole different lifestyle. I mean, we come across families that appreciate what we're doing and they understand what we're doing and they love us for it and we love them too. So the times that we have had, like I said, with sickness and stuff, if those people hadn't been there praying for us and helping us and bringing us meals when we needed it, we could have never survived.
And on the off chance the Stewarts would get a call someday asking them if they wanted their old jobs back to where they could even name their own price, Nichelle didn't even hesitate on that question.
No. I mean, you know, tempting, yes, but no. This is so much more important. It's important, and when we get on a hard time, Tim will say every now and then, maybe I should go back to a job. And then we sit down and realize what he does and what he does for our sons and what he does for our family and for the other kids. And it would be nice to have a little bit more money, but what we do being home and, you know, no, I wouldn't go back. I enjoy what I do, so we're just gonna live like we are and be dirty all the time.
In Canton, Georgia, I'm Ray DeLessio for the Farm Monitor.
Ray, thanks so much. And don't forget, if you missed any part of this story or others on today's program, you can still see them in their entirety at our YouTube channel, The Farm Monitor. Plenty of stuff to choose from. In fact, the archive goes back to 2009. And while you're there, keep clicking and like the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Send us some feedback as well if you have a story idea or if you just want to leave us a comment or suggestion. Send us a message either on Facebook or the address on your screen, that is news@farm-monitor.com. Up next, it's back to the FFA convention and our one-on-one conversation with State Advisor Billy Hughes, his special friendship with former advisor Chip Bridges, and why Hughes calls his current role a dream come true.
Barbecue sauce or peanut sauce? Why choose? Combine them for a showstopper hot wing recipe. Peanut butter is the surprise guest in this spicy sweet sauce. Lay out your wings on a sheet pan with a baking rack. Bake at 425 for about 40 minutes. Flip the wings halfway through. While the wings are cooking, make the sauce. Get ready to drench those crisp and juicy wings. Just call it the magic of peanut butter and watch those wings disappear. For more information and delicious recipe inspiration, go to gapeanuts.com.
I define beef sustainability as the full beef chain balancing environmental stewardship and economic viability and social responsibility while maintaining a strong beef supply for growing global demand for beef. I believe feed yards are sustainable in a variety of ways. You know, we take care of the environment, we feed feedstuffs that aren't able to be used in any other system, and we give back to the communities where we're located. We take care of the environment. We capture and contain all the runoff. Anytime it rains or snows, that runoff is contained in a retention pond that's lined. We utilize a very detailed nutrient management plan to irrigate the farmland around the feed yard and utilize the nutrients. We produce a very high quality organic fertilizer. Almost all the farmland has to be fertilized. Farmers around a feed yard have a real advantage because they can take advantage of the high quality organic fertilizer that we produce here at the feed yard. Cattle are unique and their digestive system allows them to utilize these products that nothing else can utilize things like distiller's grains. That's a byproduct of the brewing process. A cottonseed meal. You know, we use the cotton to make the clothes that we're wearing, and then we can utilize the meal, a byproduct from that process, to feed our cattle. And it's really neat that we can take a feed supply that ordinarily wouldn't be utilized at all and turn that into the essential nutrients and high quality protein that we need for our bodies. We consider it a privilege and not a right to do business in these small rural communities. Feed yards provide a stable employment base for the community. We also understand that if we want the community to support us, we have to give back to the community. And we're very supportive of our school systems, youth organizations, 4-H and FFA and Little League and all the youth activities around town, in addition to the civic organizations. I believe feed yards are always looking for ways to do things better, be more responsible with the resources we have. You know, sustainability is, in my opinion, the essence of efficiency. And we're always looking for ways to do more with less.
Well, finally this week we finished where we started, this year's Georgia FFA State Convention.
Yeah, Kenny, that is where we spent the day with Ag Ed Program Manager and FFA State Advisor Billy Hughes. This Hughes' first convention since replacing longtime advisor Chip Bridges back in August of 2018. And pardon the cliche, but yes, it is a job Billy says was a dream come true.
I think it is a dream come true. I never really saw myself in this role, but I do know that you know, I became an agriculture teacher because of what my agriculture teacher did for me. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be sitting or on that stage today if it wasn't for Mr. Mercer. So, you know, agriculture is mostly a way of life. Yes, it is a profession, it is a job, but people in agriculture are there because it's a way of life for them. And I grew up on a farm, and even though I left agricultural education for a while and went into administration in the school system, I always wanted to come back to agriculture because that's my way of life, and this was my way of coming back.
Brinsley was someone who was overlooked. I believe that even when our plan fails, God's plan never does.
I did not realize the level of writing and creativity that these state officers had to do to prepare tonight, because if you'd been at the first session last night, they're just one experiences, they're just one statements. I really thought a professional media person had wrote it for them, but those were words from the kid's heart, those students' heart. And I'm just blown away, because I don't know that whenever I was 17, 18 years old, I could have put together the phrases that they did so eloquently. You know, I've known Ben for a long time. You know, I met Chip whenever I was in 11th grade. We ran for state FFA office together in 11th grade, went through college together. So yes, I appreciate everything that Chip did. Chip has been a friend of mine since 11th grade. And yes, I took over at a good time, but I also want to, you know, add my flair to it and, you know, continue to grow this organization. So I think the unification that we've had over the years is what's built Georgia agriculture, and I want to continue to make sure that that unification continues so we continue to prosper in the future.
Great job, Billy, and of course we look forward to working with him in the years to come. And with that, we will send you on your way.
But first, a reminder for all the latest ag info regarding food, great recipes, and what's happening out on the farm, be sure you check out our Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest pages. You'll stay informed and see what's up in the world of farming and with us here on the show.
So long, friends. See you next week right here on the Farm Monitor.
As always, have a great week.